Deadpool versus The Mask. Okay, do we really need another Deadpool fight? Look, I love Deadpool, and I love the idea of Deadpool versus The Mask, but personally, I'd rather see something like, I don't know, Beetlejuice versus The Mask, because Beetlejuice hasn't been used twice already, and also cameoed in episodes where he's irrelevant. You could also do Bobo versus The Mask, but I think Bobo is like an infinitely fast universe-level anime hero, so, maybe the Tick? However, when it comes to this fight, the battle really boils down to one question. Does Deadpool have his full level of hacks? You see, if you didn't know, the Mask is powerful. Really powerful. Here's a guy weaker than him tanking 26 tons of TNT. Deadpool on average can't do that. So the Mask is much stronger and tougher, and killing him is far from the easiest thing to accomplish. Then again, Deadpool shouldn't be too much weaker than Walter, and Deadpool has consistently fought characters like Spider-Man and Wolverine who are more powerful in raw damage than the Mask, but let's give the Mask an edge, because he kinda needs it. Deadpool is probably faster too. Like I said, he can match the speed of people like Spider-Man or Wolverine, while the Mask at his highest scale is still a guy who can make sonic booms in flight. But, well, I mean, not the highest, because if you want to talk about how powerful the Mask is at his best, he once fought Lobo. So even if you want to say Deadpool is as strong as Wolverine and as fast as Spider-Man, thus he's stronger than the Mask, which I understand, the Mask is as strong as Lobo. So it's very clear that if Deadpool doesn't get his full hacks or the immortality from the Thanos curse, then the Mask wins. With either of those, well, Deadpool's immortality curse being overrun would require power that overclocks Thanos, and it's fair to say even when he scales a Lobo, the Mask does not have enough power to overpower Thanos. While if Deadpool has his full hacks, he can also directly influence and rewrite the script. I bet you can guess where that goes. And the reason he doesn't use that power super often in the comics is because that'd be stupid and overpowered. But, well, if within the universal Screw Attack, Deadpool has survived being literally erased, so Screw Attack Deadpool will always beat the Mask because he survived literal existence erasure. But without those things, the Mask wins. It's not really even that close a fight. Deadpool hacks at their peak are way higher than the Mask, but without them, or without that curse, he doesn't really stand much of a chance against what the Mask can accomplish. Now I want to talk about Mob vs Tatsumaki, switching things up on you peeps, talking about the last death battle at the end of this time, and once again it's taking up the majority of the video. More specifically, a few things that I didn't like. I'm okay with them getting the calc for the bullets different to M3X on Versus Wiki, because that low-end calc they did is still stronger than Mob, but the speed thing does bother me. They scale Mob speed directly to the lightning bolt, but if you didn't know, the calc for my prediction was based on how far Mob moved, based on how much time he'd have to move, based on where the lightning was when he moved. To move as far as he did in the short time he did would yield a much higher speed feat than anything Tatsumaki's done, but my real issue is with how unknown percentage Mob was treated in the animation. Up until that point, the animation only had some minor problems. I think 100% Mob took far too little time to come out. I believe Mob being trounced as he is when normal is fine. If this was written by one himself, it'd go like that too. But I feel like if one wrote it, Tatsumaki would either hit him a lot more in that short span of time, Mob would have been on the verge of an explosion beforehand, and no, 40% is not on verge, or Tatsumaki would hit someone close to Mob like Ritsu. In fact, they could have easily just had Ritsu with Mob, then he can try and attack Tatsumaki after Mob is hit, and himself get trounced. That would increase Mob's explosion percentage to quite a high level, and once Tatsumaki starts smashing him around, his explosion would come fairly quickly. And they don't tell us what that percentage is. Given he's 40% confused at the start, and he remains confused for when Tatsumaki's hitting him, not telling us this is 100% of makes it seem like he's 100% confused. But like I said, these are minor things. The actual animation is fantastic. But, well, Mob gets caught between two parts of a big city and then goes to his unknown percentage. But the way it's portrayed makes it seem no different to a Super Saiyan or Bankai transformation, but it is. If this was written by one, and I'm going to keep saying that because this is one of the few battles where the fighters were made by the same guy and they can make it really accurate source material, this impact would have knocked Mob out cold, and he'd fall to the ground. Before hitting it, his unconscious state would flicker to life and then he'd go to his full power. It's a lot more dynamic, it's a lot more interesting. How would he fall from between there? Well, you could either have Tatsumaki split it, or have it just fall to bits because it's two halves being mashed together with nothing to stick them together. Tatsumaki summoning the meteor is also pretty dumb. They acknowledge literally in the analysis that it's non-canon, and also summoning a meteor from deep outer space would require a fuck ton more power than anything they calculated. Like, seriously, Madara doing the same thing, for instance, has been calculated as needing over 28,981 gigatons. What did you say Tatsumaki's was again? Oh yeah. Also, I've never seen Tatsumaki fix itself from being pretzeled like that, and her breaking the shield is done in such a lackadaisical way that it's just weird. It's easy to miss that she broke his shield at all. But you know what? This animation is fucking slick, so I'm okay with it. This was a fun episode. Come back next time to see me predict who'd win between Galactus vs Unicron, because if that isn't the finale, I'm going to murder someone.